Hello guys, and welcome to another One Punch Man video. So I know I probably should have gotten this guide out a while back, but I just been caught up with so many other things, IRL stuffs, and it's only gonna get worse as the holiday season approaches. But enough about that, enough of my excuses. Today we're here to talk about talents, and let's get started with how, where, and when you should be investing in talents. So in order to get talent coins, you need to go to the talent trials here, and it's separated into two factions, the hero trial and the villain trial. Every time you do a talent run, you should always try to have a bonus buff available if you have it. However, if you don't have any available, please do not go into the shop and spend your gems on it. It's definitely not worth it. And for when you should be farming your talents, me personally, I farm talents every day except for Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday because that's when the Sky King Conquerors Challenge is available and I want to farm up some at least decent gangster gear. However, for you guys, the bare minimum you guys should be farming talents is every Monday and Thursday because that's when Deep Sea King's Conqueror Challenge is available and the gear he drops is absolutely terrible. You will never need school gear, ever, in any part of the game. Of course, this is just personal preference. If you guys want to farm prisoner gear, for example, then you can farm talent perfection every day except for Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. But for me personally, I'm farming the Sky King Conquerors Challenge. Although there's always the exception where I can't find a team for the Conquerors Challenge lobby, then I'll probably still farm talents even if it's Tuesday, Friday, or Sunday. Obviously, when Nightmare mode for Conquerors Challenge comes out, this won't be an issue, but for now, I just try to farm it whenever I can find a team on Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. Otherwise, I'll just do talents every other day of the week. And for your talent trials, you want to be farming the highest possible stage that you can either reach or are able to farm. So for me, the highest stage I can farm right now is floor 9. When I hit level 88, I'll be able to attempt floor 10 and floor 11. And you only want to be focusing 1 to 2 character talents at a time. You do not want to do more than that. Otherwise, it will take way too long for you to actually be able to build up your talents for those characters. When you only open 1 or 2 character talents, this allows you to optimize the rate at which you'll be able to finish your character talents. So for example, right now I'm only focusing on Carnage and Deep Sea King for villain side talents. However, if you already open too many talents for your characters, you can simply remove the characters you don't want to build talents for out of your lineup when you're doing your talent runs. So for example, if I only wanted to focus on Carnage here, and I do not want my Deep Sea King to get any more talent points, I can simply just replace him with any other unit, for instance like my Boros, and then my Deep Sea King will stop getting talent coins or talent points whenever I do my talent runs. So that's just an easy solution for those of you guys who didn't know about this and already opened way too many talents for all your characters. Alright, let's get into the talent pages now. As of right now, there are 3 available talent pages. Until we get to SSR Plus, then there'll be only 2, but we'll save that for another video. And to unlock your talent page 1, your character needs to be level 62 and limit broken to 3-star. It's also going to cost you 20 of whatever class badge that character is and 50k gold. So overall, not too bad of an expense for talent 1. For talent 2, your character needs to be level 68, limit broken to 4-star, and have a total investment of 38 levels for talent 1, which is the first page of talent 1. You need to have 38 points in order to be able to unlock their talent 2. You'll also need 50 of their class badges and 120k coins or gold. So definitely a little bit more expensive to open up a character's talent 2. I would only recommend this for characters that you're using in your main lineup or that you'll need for certain PvE bossing stages. And then last, for talent 3, in order to unlock it, you need to have your character at level 78, limit broken to 4-star, have 3 of their sigil slots unlocked from both talent 1 and talent 2, and then you'll need to have invested 38 levels into their talent 2 page. And it's going to cost you a total of 120 class badges and a whopping 300k gold. So the cost for unlocking talent 3 is definitely a lot. I would definitely not recommend you guys unlock a character's talent 3 unless they are an SSR and if they are a main unit. So some good examples would be Carnage here. Boros is okay as well, especially if you plan to use him for bossing. His talent 3 is definitely worth it. Characters like Zombie Man, even though he's an SSR or even an LSSR, I don't recommend you guys unlock their talent 3 for because he's not a main unit. He's more of a support unit, and he's mostly used for his core. So other characters that you can unlock your talent 3 for will be like your Tatsumaki, your King, anyone that basically will do a lot of damage or is the main focus of your lineup. And even characters like Amai Mask and Golden Ball, who are SRs, I still can't recommend you guys to unlock their talent 3 because even though some of them can be considered main units and they do deal a lot of damage, the investment cost for talent 3 is just way too high in order for you guys to invest into them, especially since they will fall off eventually into the mid and late game where pretty much the only characters that will be relevant will be SSRs and LSSRs. That being said, however, you can open up their sigils for Talent 1 and Talent 2 because those can be eventually reversed. However, talents cannot be reversed, so if you guys open up their Talent 3s and eventually when they end up falling out of the meta or just becoming essentially useless to you guys, you won't be able to reverse their talents. That's why I don't recommend you guys unlock their Talent 3. Okay, next let's actually take a look at the talent pages and what you should invest in or what nodes you should be prioritizing. So for Talent 1, you want to just invest into everything because Talent 1 is really easy to level up. You'll get a lot of the talent coins for Talent 1, and once you finish investing into every single node, you'll stop getting the green talent coins when you do talent trials. And whatever extra talent coins you have, you can actually convert them into talent bags, and those can be used on your other characters. And besides that, all the nodes for Talent 1 are fairly useful. Most of the characters can use pretty much every single one of these nodes, other than the defense one, of course. But like I said, it's very easy to level up Talent 1, so just go ahead and fully max Talent 1 for all your characters. Okay, moving on to Talent 2. The nodes you should be maxing first should be the attack and HP nodes for most of your characters. Carnage being a slight exception because he doesn't really benefit too much from attack. He does do more damage on his ultimate and basic attack, but he's mostly a tank. So for him, I maxed out his HP. But for other characters, for instance, like your Amai Mask, or I don't have Amai Mask's Talent 2 unlocked, so we'll take a look at Golden Ball. You want to be maxing his attack nodes and his HP nodes because if he's not tanky enough, he'll just die or get one shot in PvP anyways. So yeah, for most units, you want to be maxing both attack and HP nodes first. Next, for the bottom 3 nodes here, the one you want to be maxing out first is the Energy Gauge Enhancement node. This is especially useful in PvP since gaining more energy per turn means you'll be able to cast more ultimates. And this is also a pretty good way to counter Energy Seal. As for the other 2 nodes, it depends what character you have. Each character will have different nodes for these 2, but every single one will have the Energy Gauge no matter what. So for instance, for Carnage, Anti-Tenacity is not the best since he's mostly a tank and won't be dealing a lot of damage. So this Anti-Tenacity shield to decrease the shield rate for other characters is okay on him. I would definitely not prioritize that. The Injury Reduction or the Injury Resistance, however, is pretty useful. I'll probably be leveling this up after I finish up the Energy Gauge node, especially since we are currently in a injury meta, Zombie Man meta, where there is a lot of injury. Also, that being said, the Injury Reduction also affects internal injury and charge damage. And charge damage is the extra damage dealt on G-Force passive, if I remember correctly. So overall, a very useful resistance node. But like I said, the 2 nodes on the side honestly depends on what the current meta is at the moment and what character you are investing in. When we take a look at Golden Ball here, the DOT reduction is pretty much completely worthless on him, especially since DOT is out of meta right now. So I'll pretty much completely ignore this. And for the healing reduction, that's pretty good right now because it's Zombie Man meta and there's a lot of healing going on. So this will probably be leveled up after I finish the Energy Gauge node. Okay, so if we move up the nodes here to the top 3, the top one is probably the only node that's worth investing, depending on what the character has. For Carnage, he has healing effect increased, so that is a very, very good buff or node for him. Golden Ball has Shatter buff, which is also really good, so I'll definitely be leveling that up once I've gotten all the other priority nodes finished. As for the other two, completely ignore these two nodes. Only level them up to level 2 in order to advance to the other nodes. After that, completely ignore them. They are absolutely worthless and are a complete waste of your talent coins. And last, and probably least, usually it's last but not least, but this time it's probably least. Whatever class enhancement, for Carnage it's Grappler, for Golden Ball it's Duelist. You want to be investing in this last. It is your last priority when it comes to tier 2 node investment. So once you've finished up all the other nodes that I've told you to prioritize, and you have extra blue talent 2 coins, then you can invest into the Grappler or whatever class enhancement node you have for your character. Okay, let's move on to talent 3. Just like talent 2, you want to be max investing into the attack nodes and the HP nodes for most of your characters. But before you actually start max investing into these nodes, you want to try and unlock your main node, as I like to call it. Every character has a main node once you unlock their talent 3 in the middle here. And it depends on the character which node you'll get. There's 3 different types. There's Perseverance, which is essentially a 50% chance to unyield. True Strike 2, which deals more damage the higher HP the opponent is. And the last one is Unstoppable 2, which will allow you to deal more damage the lower the HP the opponent is. Typically, level 4 to 5 is a good stopping point for this middle main node or the main node. You need to at least get this main node to level 2, however, in order to unlock the sigil slot over here. After you've finished investing your main node to level 4 or 5 or whatever comfortable level you feel is best fit for your character, I wouldn't recommend going really high because the cost does go up by a lot. And talent 3 takes a very, very long time to farm up. I've been doing Carnage's talent 3 for a while now, and I still haven't even gotten close to getting the Perseverance node unlocked. But anyways, after you finish that, work on your attack and HP nodes. Try to max them out if you can. And once you finish that, you're pretty much done with the talent 3 page. You don't need to invest into anything else unless your character is a bossing unit. Then you probably want to try and get Boss Slayer maxed out, since this will affect your bossing damage by quite a bit. You'll be able to deal a lot of damage to PvE bosses. So for example, your bossing units will be someone like Boros. In the future, when Red Mosquito Girl comes out, you definitely want to get her Boss Slayer to max level as well. For the other node, Arena Hero, it's definitely not worth it. It's only a 25% chance to reduce an enemy's gauge by -15, and the chance does not go up. The effect goes up every time you level it. So for sure, only invest into Boss Slayer if your character is a PvE bossing unit. Oh, and of course, last but not least, even though these are very terrible nodes, they give you defense. You want to at least invest them to level 1, at least 1 point into them, so you can unlock the sigils. Once you've finished all the nodes I've recommended for talent 3, you can move on to the next character's talents. I would also like to mention that I did some testing on my Southeast Asia server account on what determines your talent 3 main node of your character. And the conclusion I came to is it is completely almost random. I opened a bunch of talents on different characters, but from what I gathered is that usually this node here on your talent 1 is what determines your main talent for your talent 3. But that's not always the case, because on my Southeast Asia account, I have Red Mosquito Girl and SSR Genos talent 3 unlocked. And for their talent 1 node, Mosquito Girl has Unstoppable, or that's called Relentless here on our server, for her talent 1 node here. And then for SSR Genos, he has True Strike. But when you unlock their talent 3, both of them have Perseverance or Unyielding as their main Talent 3 node. I really could not determine what actually is the determining factor of the main node in Talent 3. If someone knows, please let me know in the comments below. But with the other units I tested, for the most part, if they have True Strike, then they'll have the True Strike main tier 3 node. If they have Unstoppable or Relentless, they'll have Unstoppable or Relentless as their tier 3 main node. Or if they have the Self-Restore node here on the Talent 1, they will usually have Perseverance or Unyielding as their tier 3 main node. Okay guys, well that's going to be it for this One Punch Man video. If you guys have any questions regarding talents, or if I left anything out, please let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next One Punch Man video. Peace.